Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final episode of the semester for Articulture. I am, as always, your host, Bray Bowers, and with me is Natalie Reed.
Hi, guys.
Natalie,
welcome back.
How are you doing? How are you doing during finals?
I'm doing good. I'm in a silly, goofy mood. I don't know. I'm just happy and giggly all the time. I think it's great. I finished classes because we don't really have finals. It's more of like a final project.
She's an art major.
Yeah, but let it be known though that it was still difficult because a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, you're getting done a week early." I'm like, listen. I basically had labs back to back. I would go to class at 9. I would not be done till 3:30. I literally had 15 minutes in between, maybe like 2 hour and 45-minute classes plus. Like it was nuts. So I deserve it.
I was in there with her sometimes. One time I was in there. I was making peppers. Anyway, so I've been fine. Struggling through finals, not really struggling, just having to procrastinate everything until the last minute, so that's really fun. But, you know what I did do? I caught the Met Gala. Did you catch the Met Gala bug?
I did.
You did?
I did, kinda.
Kinda. Because that's, epitome of arts and culture.
Yes.
For our time. The Met. Mm-hmm. The Met Museum.
Yes.
I don't know.
Our museum.
Anyway, so the theme of the Met Gala this year was super fine, tailoring black style. Now, what did you know about this, Natalie?
I did some research a little bit. I know it's about, I think, I might butcher this, so no one be offended, but it was basically in the 1940s, like, black culture, like, how they would dress, like, especially the men, how they would dress in, like, suits and ties and things like that. Is that correct? Like
that is correct.
That. Yes.
It is black dandyism, which is inspired by the 18th century concept of dandyism, which was a European concept that were these men who would like have their most elegant clothing, you know, they were groomed very nicely. They really focused on their image like to the T. Very much an example would be like Oscar Wilde. Or Lord Byron. That would be an earlier example, I would say. But that sort of vibe of focusing on your looks, being very hoity-toity, that whole thing. And so in the 1940s, 20s, 30s, 40s, in that era, black men, to rise above their perceived rank in society, would don these very elaborate and hoity outfits to go past their rank in society, to dress outside of their rank, to show that they could, you know, rise above that, visually at least. Yeah. And then maybe they would be taken seriously by, you know, the white counterparts because they were showing that they could have the same level of sophistication. And it's really something that I find super interesting, especially for the Met Gala. I think it's a really cool theme to focus on menswear.
Yeah, it's very, like, niche, I feel like, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it's also, like, a specific time and style that can be translated to dresses and suits. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone can utilize this theme. Where sometimes I feel like the Met Gala is like, well, what are the men going to wear? A suit with a flower on it?
Yeah, it's kind of like standard versus like...
Right, that's so low effort.
Yeah.
But honestly, what are they going to try to do? For like a more gender-conforming man, you know, if they wanted to not do all of that stuff. The theme of Superfine explores the importance of style to the formation of black identities in the Atlantic diaspora, particularly in the United States and Europe, through the presentation of garments and accessories, paintings, photographs, decorative arts, and more. From the 18th century to today, the exhibition interprets the concept of dandyism as both an aesthetic and a strategy that allowed for new social and political possibilities. So they were organized into 12 sections, each representing a characteristic that defines the style, such as champion, respectability, heritage, beauty, and cosmopolitan. And all of these elements combine to create the modern self-presentation and distinction that a lot of black style is based around. that can be impacted by race, gender, class, and identity. And that's from the Met's website specifically. So we're getting our sources from the horse's mouth. So, Natalie, were there any sort of elements that you found very impactful during this? Like, not necessarily the looks, but things that you saw in each look that stood out to you.
Oh, each look?
Not each look, just overall.
Well, I mean, kind of like you also mentioned, it's focusing on menswear, which is not really standard, which I really like. And I feel like this is different than past years, but to be honest with you, I haven't really, like, looked that in depth in past years, but I just think it's very unique. And I really like there's a lot of metallics, I feel like, in this specific Met Gala show. I really like that.
I also think it's very interesting because when you restrict a theme down to, like, black men's style from this period, I think it allows for far more creativity than if the theme is super broad.
Yeah.
Because you have to really think about, okay, here are the elements that I see. What do I want to incorporate new into it? And what do I want to say through this look? And I think that provided a lot of really interesting silhouettes, colors, themes, and expressions that we have not seen before. And I really think there was not a lot of bad looks.
Yeah.
Like, there were not. There usually are a lot of stinkers, but this one, I was pretty okay with it. Even if you wore just a suit, it was still in theme, and you could, dotty it up a little bit. Also, there's a connection to dandyism and the African-American queerness that comes into it, because a lot of the dandies of their day were queer men. And so when they adopted it into the American styles, it kind of came to the surface of, oh, this is how we can portray this different identity appropriately in society. It was kind of an appropriate way to express queerness at that time.
Yeah.
So it allowed for a lot of people that may not have necessarily been able to express themselves earlier in the times, an avenue to do that. So moving on into some of our favorite looks. Natalie, was there anyone that really stood out to you before I get into these in-depth looks that I have found?
I really liked Doja Cat's look. She had, like, this lavender flower right here and lavender eyeshadow. I just liked everything about her look.
She had the pompadour.
I think so. That makes me... I wonder if, like, the lavender was for, like, any specific reason, or if it was just, like, oh, this looks, fits the color palette. You know what I mean? Let me look up here. And then the Zendaya thing. Have you heard of the Zendaya theory?
Yes, with the hat.
Yes. Which is really funny to me.
Doja Cat.
Yes, I loved the... and also just the unproportionate, like, shoulders, I guess, and, like...
That was a big theme.
Like, I like that it was unproportionate, I don't know, it just kind of makes it look more abstract and artsy versus, like, oh, this is my cool outfit that, it looks more like a statement.
And the silhouette defined by the cheetah print or leopard print or whatever that is, I think that's really cool.
The shoes, I like everything.
Yeah, I loved it. I love the masculine feminine of it.
Yes.
The shoulder, because I love a shoulder pad.
Really?
Y'all will have to pry a shoulder pad out of my cold, dead claws. I'm never giving those up. I don't care if you think it looks like I look like a grandma. I love it. I love a shoulder pad. And there were so many in this, so I was really eating fine dining at this moment. Anyone else that stuck out to you, Natalie?
So... I'm not gonna lie, I liked Lisa's outfit, or more the hair and, like...
She had the hat on,
makeup and stuff. I'm not sure. But I will say the bottoms that she wore was bad and controversial. So that,
she had her undergarments with the faces of a lot of civil rights activists, including Rosa Parks, which I found very kind of hilarious.
Yeah. A little bit touchy, because I just... people are like, oh, well, she's not from the U.S., so I'm like, that's not an excuse. Like, you know what I mean?
She had a designer.
Yeah, like, it was. Yeah, there's way too many people that could have shut it down. They didn't, you know. But I liked the hair, to be honest. I really did like the hair and the makeup and stuff. I don't know. Maybe she's just pretty. That's why I like her. I don't know. You know.
That could be it.
I just, Chapel Roan. What do you think about her outfit? Did you like that?
I love that. The big coat, the sparkly pink. I think that she took the theme into her world.
Yes.
And that's what I really appreciated about it. It was so Chapel doing that theme.
Yeah.
It wasn't just her doing a concept of the theme, like that some designer created for her. It was like, oh, this is how this fits into my character. And I thought that was very cool. I loved the jacket, the drama of the jacket. I wish she had kept it on longer because I've seen a lot of the pics. And they were like with the jacket off. I wish she kept it on for the drama, for like the feathers that it had on it. I think it was really cool. And I really loved her pants. They're
very fun, kind of disco almost, I would say.
Some of my favorite looks included Janelle Monáe in Thom Browne. She had this overcoat that had a silhouette on it.
I know.
Time traveler. She had a monocle. It was so cool.
That one was probably the most unique, I think, I would say.
And Janelle Monáe always eats.
That was the most, I think that would have taken the cake, you know what I mean? Taken first place, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's one of my absolute favorites. Because she did an overcoat with the silhouette on it that was painted, and then she took it off, and she had the silhouette on, but it was different colors, and she was this time traveler. I just, I love the concept. The concept she always has. Another one of my favorites, another Thom Browne, was Demi Moore in Thom Browne, where I hated it at first.
I'm so glad you have the computer with you, yes.
I hated this look at first when I saw it because I thought that thing over her head was a headpiece, and I was like, what is this? Is this supposed to be like a suit? And then you zoom out, and she's dressed as a tie. She's dressed as a tie.
Oh, I didn't see that either.
I was gagged. I was like, this is my favorite thing ever.
I didn't see that either.
That's so cool. Wild. She took the menswear category, dressing as one of the primary accessories as the dress with the long trail in the back. I think that was just extraordinary. I was all for it. Another one, my absolute top was Teyana Taylor. She was in Ruth E. Carter, who was a costume designer.
That one's good too.
Based on her song, oh God.
I can't help
Based
you
on her song, it's called something Rose.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. This is the epitome of the theme to me. This maroon suit with the red luxurious overcoat on and the big feathers and the top hat and the necklace. It was everything I wanted. It was everything that I wished other people's were. And I loved the chains hanging off of it. I loved the belt. I loved the shoes. I loved how the pants were cut, how they zipped in at the bottom. Oh, and the flowers and the... This was my favorite thing ever. I could feed a family of 5 with this look. How much I ate from it. It was just...
You should print it out and just hang up in your room.
And the shoes. She really did what needed to be done. Then we have Coleman Domingo in Valentino. He had a nice blue azure cape that he revealed into this very classy suit. I wanted to bring him up just because he's a very textbook definition of the theme. He has the bright, frilly exterior and then, the regular interior. And then just one more that I would want to bring up was Andre 3000 in Burberry. He was carrying a piano on his back. A literal piano on his back. Carrying the music industry on his back, bro. It was genius. And I think it was such a serve.
That is genius.
So cool. As a black man carrying music on his back, as they have done throughout the American culture, zeitgeist. I think it was super representative of the theme. I think it was really reflective on some of the points they wanted to make with this installation, and I just think he hit it out of the park. I really wanted to bring up the men because I think they really did their big one with this category. So that is going to be it for our discussion today. Natalie, do you have any final thoughts? Quick final thoughts.
Honestly, no. I think it's weird. I read this article a little bit. A lot of celebrities missed out this year.
Really?
Yeah, like, you don't really think about it, but, like, if you look at the extensive list of people that didn't show up, you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, yeah, like, that's weird, you know? So, like, Lady Gaga, but she hasn't been in a while, you know?
She's been touring.
Yeah, she's been doing stuff.
She's been touring. And people who have never been there before, like Lauryn Hill, were there and kind of ate and everything. All right, well, that's going to be it for us today. I hope y'all have a great summer, and I hope y'all are looking forward to Articulture 2.0, which will be next semester. We'll be back and better than ever. So thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.